Kate, and I'm going to show you how to set up a fluid bag for subcutaneous fluids. Okay, so open your bag this way. This is not a sterile vacuum, so it's okay to touch any of this. So this is your fluid bag. You're going to label it with the date. Today is 5/17/23, and then your initials. The bag will last for 4 weeks from the date that you label, so we can use it for sub-Q fluids for up to 4 weeks. IV fluids should be a fresh bag every time, but for sub-Q fluids, that's fine. So this is an administration set or a primary IV set. You're going to open that. And again, none of this is sterile. You can touch it. That's fine. But what is sterile is the spike here. This is what's actually going to go into your IV bag. So you don't want to touch what's under this plastic cap with your bare hands. The same is true here. There's different setups for this part of the fluid bag. This little valve here is where you can actually put a needle through, a syringe and needle, and drop like a syringe of fluids if you need that. But this is where the spike's going to go. So what you're going to do is pull that out and be sure not to touch this part in here. That's sterile. And then you're going to take your spike, and again, don't touch the actual spike. You're going to take that, stick it in here, nice and deep like that. So you also have another port here that you can draw if you wanted to draw just a syringe of fluids out. You can do that here or here. And you have your bag. You can see when I turn that upside down, it's starting to flow into here, and that's going to drip. So I'm going to use this as a sink over here. But you can squeeze this little chamber to kind of fill that up, and that kind of gets things going. So there's going to be some air in the line. Little bubbles like this, especially for sub-Q fluids, don't matter. It's not a big deal. You don't want a whole bunch of air in your line, especially with IV fluids. It's a little bit more important there where we're injecting the fluids right into the vein. But for sub-Q fluids, it's not as important. But you can just go ahead when you're starting and just kind of flush the line like that to get all of that excess air out. This little part here is sterile. You don't want to touch that. So I'm just going to put that little cap back on. If you want to close off the fluid line, you can roll this little bar here. That's going to close it off there. And then this little guy here actually will kink the line to make sure it won't flow at all. So that's what those two things are for. If you have this unkinked and you kind of roll this up slowly, you can kind of have slow flow through the line. This just allows you to sort of have some graduated pressure through the line. So once you have your line flushed, everything looks good. Take your needle. Usually we use an 18 gauge needle for sub-Q fluids. And you can put this on the end of your line. Again, you don't want to touch inside of here or that part that kind of goes into the needle. Those are both sterile. After you use the line to administer sub-Q fluids, be sure to replace the needle. The kind of universal signal for this needle has been replaced is to leave the wrapper on. That way people know it's a new needle. So I'm going to leave this wrapper on so everybody knows that I've got a fresh needle here. I'm going to pinch off the line so that the fluids aren't flowing, and then it's ready to be hung up and used.